Hello everyone, it's Roidman, and welcome to another draft league. We finally decided to join one this year. And basically this draft league is from the Desvelado Draft League, which means sleepless. But for this draft league, they usually use the Lichen Rock to determine what their tiers are. This is Season 5 though, but we're on the low tier, so we're in the Rockruff Division. With that being said, rules of this draft league are neutralization. Banned abilities are weather and terrain setting abilities besides Grassy Surge, Sandstream, Drizzle, Snow Warning, Drought, Psychic Surge, Misty Surge, Electric Surge. Trapping abilities being like Shadow Tag, Arena Trap, and Magnet Hole. Moody, Evasion Abyss boosting ability. So weather's not going to work and trapping won't work. Banned moves are Oko moves, Evasion boosting moves, Baton Pass with Substitute or Stat Boost, Last Respects, Shed Tail, Revival Blessing, Hidden Power, Z moves, or Dynamax. So, along with neutralization, no Z moves, no Dynamax. Banned items are Bright Powder, Wax Incense, King's Rock, Quick Claw, Focus Band, Booster Energy, Weather Rocks, being Damp Rock, Smooth Rock, Heat Rock, Icy Rock, Terrain Extenders, Gems, and other Smoke Gun clauses apply. I should mention, this is a Showdown League, which means all of my games will be played on Nat decks on Showdown. So, let's get into the team. So, our first member that we decided to pick is Noivern. Unfortunately, this being low tier, Crobat is not available to us. So, with Noivern being a high point Pokemon and just having almost the same kind of abilities as Crobat, just being like Frisk and Infiltrator. Infiltrator will be actually very useful for anybody who's thinking of using Substitute. But basically, Noivern will be leading our team into victory, hopefully, with a lot of our games. So, our next pick is Gastrodon. If you remember from my first draft league, this thing was a beast and just basically just stalling out stuff. Have it with Storm Drain, switch it out if your opponent uses a water move, not to mention having Recover and other moves like Muddy Water and such, or even Earth Power. You have a Pokemon to be reckoned with, and this one I am glad to have on my team again. Our next member being Vikavolt. Vikavolt being a bug flying with Levitate. It's not going to be our fastest Pokemon, but having an electric bug Pokemon on our team will be useful. Not to mention, it does get a wide variety of moves that I can easily use as well. And that's what I'm really going to hope to use Vikavolt for, is just basically type coverage and figuring out what to do if an opponent comes up. Our next Pokemon, Reverum. Actually, one of my new favorite Pokemon. Reverum is actually a Pokemon that I used in Scarlet and Violet on my personal playthrough, and having it set up basically with it, having it set up and just go to town with it, it does a lot of damage if you let it be by itself for a little while. Not to mention with Overcoat and Filter, doing damage to this is kind of difficult, especially with the Psychic typing not working against it. Our next Pokemon is Ludicolo! And this might be where I might regret one of my picks, because both Swift Swim and Rain Dash are rain-related abilities, but I could set up a Rain Dance, but chances are I may just run Own Tempo, which means this Pokemon will never get confused. So, being more of a special defense and its special attack and attack are almost nearly the same, it's here just for more coverage as well. I'm not really using it for rain tactics, so I'm just hoping that it'll at least do the job that I wanted to do. Our next Pokemon, Typhlosion! Now, I actually had a lot of other fire types on this list, but when I was going through like my draft picks and such, I was looking at like Charizard, Scorch, and I'm realizing these two are going to be a very big liability, especially with the rock typing. So I might as well just go for Monotype and go for Typhlosion. Being that it has Blaze and Flash Fire being more important, which means fire moves cannot affect it. I hope to basically make a fire version of Gastrodon with this. So Not to mention, if you ever use a Charizard, this is basically almost the same thing. So hopefully that'll work out in my favor. Komala! With its ability Comatose, it can't be set with any statuses, so not only being a generic Pokemon that I can just slap on the team whenever, it's going to do a lot of damage. And not to mention, if my opponent's playing like any poison strats, paralyzed strats, even sleep strats, that's not going to work on this little koala. So if I know that my opponent does play those kind of strats, I know for a fact I'll be bringing in this little koala into battle. Our next Pokemon, Desvelado, being our Ice type, being a very bulky defensive Pokemon in regular defense, not really much in special defense. It's basically good just to have an Ice type, and not to mention, Avalok does have other few moves that will basically benefit with this defense as well. Not to mention, it also has Rapid Spin, so I can also get rid of hazards. But it does have Ice Body, which, unfortunately, again, Weather type ability, but having own tempo and even sturdy, I can easily A, bring this Pokemon out for something that I need to get rid of on the field, or B, just have it not be confused. Our next Pokemon is Grapple Lock. Now this is actually one of my favorite Pokemons from Sword and Shield, and the main reason is every time I build a team, Grapple Lock just fits perfectly on a 6th Pokemon if I can't think of anything else. But not only is Grapple Lock here just as a fighting type and to do damage, it's here to use Topsy-Turvy if I needed to. I usually going to equip this with Focus Sash, have Topsy-Turvy. If my opponent uses Dragon Dance like twice, this is my counter to it. This goes for any other kind of boosting moves as well, because the moment I use Topsy-Turvy, the Pokemon stats gets reversed, and they have to use 4 Dragon Dances to get out of the situation they're in now. Our next Pokemon is Grumpig. Again, with the own tempo ability, can't be confused, but it also comes with thick bats, so fire typings, I believe fire and ice typing don't affect it that well. And not to mention, just being a good psychic type Pokemon just for a low tier Pokemon, especially being fast as one, I can easily just get like some fusion or even paralyzations. So it's a good Pokemon to have. Our last Pokemon, I am now questioning why I even picked it. They're just reading the rules. Honestly, it was just more or less to get a last Pokemon. Doug Trio is a fast Pokemon that can get in quick hits. I cannot use Arena Trap because of the rules. So I'm stuck with either Sandveil or Sandforce, which, again, both of those abilities are weather-based, and I think I can only use Sandforce because Sunveil boosts the accuracy. So yeah, Sandforce is the only ability I can use on this thing. It's more or less here to get in a quick kill, and then get the heck out. Otherwise, that is our team. And this is our scheduled matches for the whole thing. We basically have 8 weeks to basically win games and hopefully make it to playoffs. So next time, we'll be going against, if I can remember his name, well, we'll be going against the coach of the Do Spiders. So we'll be going against them.